The Denver Nuggets have a huge opportunity tonight to wrap up the NBA Finals and win their first ever NBA championship. But Miami, we know, are not just going to roll over here. So what is Erik Spoelstra going to have to scheme out with this team to get the Heat the almighty win in Denver to force a Game 6? Let's get into it. In what might be our final NBA Finals preview, our final game preview of the season, we brought in Pips once again, joining me, Jacob, to get ready for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. If you find yourself enjoying this video, please make sure to drop a like. And even if this is the last game of the season, we still have plenty of content coming for the offseason. So make sure you are subscribed to all the board YouTube channels, or all the board channels, whether that be YouTube, whether that be in audio form. But Pips, we spoke a little bit about this one before we started recording. And we both feel as though this is likely the final game of the series. So we'll obviously be talking about what Miami would have to do to extend it. But in reaction to that Game 4, another dominant display by the Denver Nuggets, why do you feel as though this one could be wrapped up tonight so strongly?
Yeah, it's just a huge disparity in talent, and with Jimmy Butler playing on bad ankle and not being able to be the most very aggressive Jimmy Butler we saw before the injury against the Knicks. They just have such a small room for error, slim errors, and they need to be perfect to have a chance. Them being perfect doesn't even mean they are going to win. It just means they have a high chance. And when you have Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic on the other side, very underperforming Michael Porter Jr. and KCP, and you are still doing that well. Yeah, difficult, very difficult. Last game we saw Nikola Jokic in foul trouble, didn't affect at all. Like, he's by far the best player on the court, and he's off the court, and they can catch up. Yeah, I think the series is over. Before the series started, I had Denver in 5. This looks like clear Denver in 5. I think you also had Denver in 5.
I did.
Yeah, so we had Denver in 5. It's one game. It was great shooting with from the Miami Heat, and Denver poured pick and roll defense. Yeah, and it was kind of close, even though Miami played above their expectations. Denver played under their capacity. So I don't think it's happening again, especially on the road. Denver lost only one game at home, and it was that crazy game against Miami. Yeah, they did it once. They can do it technically again. It's NBA Finals, but from what we saw in the last couple of games, in this entire series, Denver is by far the best team.
Yeah, that stretch when Nikola Jokic went into foul trouble, he picked up his 5th foul early in the 4th quarter. It was only about a 10-point game or so at that time. So it really felt like, oh my, how long can Malone keep Nikola Jokic on the bench here? But like you said, nothing changed. I think, in fact, they took a bigger lead, and they kept Jokic out for like 5-6 minutes because they didn't have to put him back in.
Yeah,
Eric Gordon was great. Bruce Brown was unbelievable in that Game 4. He shot 8 of 11. That was, Denver. There's just too much there for the Miami Heat to handle. In the 3-win, Denver have won by 11, 15, 13. The only one they lost by 3. That's usually the indicator that the better team.
And also, I will say, in that game, Jokic was +9.
Yeah.
Every other starter was +10 or more. Like
plus 13 or more, yeah.
Yeah. Michael Porter Jr. +13, played only 22 minutes, but big minutes players, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, +22, and Aaron Gordon +29.
Yeah, he was awesome.
And he was unbelievably great. Doing everything, rebounding, assisting, making threes, dunking, doing post-ups, like all-time great performance by Aaron Gordon.
It's just such a complete team, Denver have. It's just such a complete team. Like Christian Brown, who was one of the best players in Game 3, did nothing in Game 4. But like Bruce Brown was amazing. Aaron Gordon took a step up. Even Jamal Murray wasn't at his best. But like, there's just all these players who are doing so much for this team.
We can agree that this was the worst. So Game 3 was okay. Jokic and Murray did everything.
Yeah.
So they were scoring, they were assisting, they were all around, everywhere. And they won easily.
Yeah.
And no one else did anything from the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets team besides Brown from the bench. This game, worst performance in the playoffs combined for Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray combined.
It was still
And
pretty
then
good. I mean, Nikola Jokic still played pretty well.
that's their floor. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly. That's their floor. That's the exactly it.
So Jokic shooting 42% from the field is like all-time worst, terrible performance from Jokic. Yeah. And Jamal Murray had 12 assists, but he shot 29% from the field. But then you have Aaron Gordon stepping up and Bruce Brown. They combined for almost 50 points, and they are so deep.
Yeah, that's just the thing. Miami, on the other hand, they got good games from Butler and Adebayo. The thing is just like Butler has to be like the best player in the world to win games in this series, like he did in Milwaukee. Yeah.
For me personally, the best. Once again, Duncan Robinson was huge for this team in this game, and also Kevin Love in the he was like keeping them afloat for a couple of minutes. So they got great performance from Kevin Love and from Duncan Robinson. Butler was great, good enough, and Adebayo was good enough, and and terrible floor performance by Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, and they still lost by double digits.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is like once again, Sru struggled to shoot, as did Gabe Vincent, and it's just pointing towards the Nuggets are able to cover these open threes that others haven't been able to do in this series because they can handle Jimmy Butler down low. Like they can handle a 9 of 17 performance from Jimmy Butler, 25 points. They'll put him in mostly like single coverage, but like kind of shadowing the defender. They'll have an extra defender lurking. Whereas like that game 2 specifically, like my goodness, there was like 4 guys worried about Jimmy Butler at the rim. Now they're just kind of like, all right, if Jimmy's going to beat us, Jimmy's going to beat us, but we're not going to allow these open 3-point opportunities. And as a result, Miami shoot 32% from 3 in the previous game. I think they shot around 30% in game 3 as well. It's just the adjustment being made that they can cover these shooters now, and that's taken away a lot of what Miami can do. And maybe that's Butler is hurt. Maybe he's out of gas because he's just been amazing in this playoff run. Maybe a little bit of both, or maybe it's Denver had the right schemes against him. It could be a combination of so many different things. But if, like we said ahead of game 4, Jimmy Butler just has to attack, and he just wasn't really willing to do that for a variety of reasons. So let's transition now to this game 5. Miami have to win 3 games in a row here, but most importantly, they have to win the one tonight. Let's look at the game lines for this one. We'll pull up the BetStamp odds screen here. Different ranges of prices at time of recording. It looks like the Denver 8.5 is heading towards 9.5. You can find them at 8.5 time of recording at FanDuel, plus 9.5 at Betway. On the money line, Profit Exchange has it at minus 350 for Denver and plus 330 for Miami. Over under is 209. It seems like it's been kind of falling off on the over under as the series has gone on. But to take advantage once again of all these great prices, to get the best odds on every single bet you make, you need to have all of the sports books at your disposal, open and available to bet with. In order to do this, you can sign up with our affiliate code betstamp.app/theboard. If you're going to be signing up to new sportsbooks anyways, you can use this link to help support the channel as well and make yourself better sports bettors. It's easy. If you are a recreational bettor, if you're a pro bettor, you're going to win more on your winning bets. You're going to lose less on your losing bets by always maximizing your odds. Please make sure sign up to as many sports books as you can feasibly do with our link. Support the channel. Make yourself a smarter sports bettor. But we see these lines here. Nothing really I could disagree with. I don't know how you feel looking at this. Denver are firmly the favorite. I even feel like Denver may take on money. I said that at a game 4. I took the 3 and said they're going to move up. It did move to 3.5. This one, I don't feel as confidently with that higher number. But what do you think Miami has to do here? What do you think they have to give? What is Spoelstra going to try and juice this team with to find a way to win in Denver, which is going to be so difficult, as we know?
The thing for me is game 3, they were game 2 and game 3, they were playing a lot of empty side pick and rolls. So in that was their best offense. And they kind of got away from it in the game 4. They had 15 and 16 in the game 2 and game 3, and again and they had only 5 in game 4. So I think they should go back to it because that worked very well, removing the tagger. So that put a lot of pressure on Jokic in defense. He couldn't be in a lot of drop coverage where he does very well because he has the size to contest, and they have great players to point of attack defenders there. So I think that could be maybe leaning back to it more. We know we need aggressive Jimmy Butler. I'll say maybe even just start Duncan Robinson and see where it goes. Like
Yeah,
he
I
is
mean,
there.
it's too many bad Strus performances just to shovel him in
Yeah,
there again.
yeah. And it's not like Strus is a lot. Not like Strus is game changing defender that Duncan Robinson. Like he is a bit better than Duncan Robinson, but not a huge difference when Duncan Robinson can bring so much, at least shooting gravity on offense.
Yeah,
And
and
he gets
he gets way
different
more like non-shooting. He gets to the rim well. He's finishing in the paint extremely well in this series, which has been
yeah,
so shocking.
he's great. Kevin Love did great in the last game. He offered them pick and pop option, which opens up the driving for Jimmy Butler. Bam Adebayo, yeah, it's difficult. It's even if you're like in theory trying to figure out what can they do to win, it's kind of difficult.
I mean, I said last preview we did, like I spent the entire morning thinking about how can Miami stop Denver's offense, and it just took me a while to come to the realization they can't. If Denver are anywhere close to their best, you can't. There's just too much there to stop. Like, we talked about putting Bam like almost always. If Jokic is on, Bam is on, and pretty much they did that. Bam played 44 minutes. You can't do much more than that. Butler played 45. Like it's just they've exhausted everything they can except for like shaking up the starting lineup with Duncan Robinson. Like they can certainly try that. I just don't think that's going to make enough of a difference. But I would agree that Robinson's been the better player in this series. Get him in from the start and like just set the tone early, hopefully with his 3-point shooting. But even still, yeah, we talk about Miami so much, but I don't know. I can't conceive a way they win this game. I feel very good about Denver being able to pull through and win tonight. But from a betting perspective, just to finish off, is there anything that you're looking out for today to try and get any final action and potentially on this NBA season?
So yeah, I can mix up some bets. I'll prefer to go back to Jokic over 25 plus points, under 11.5 assists. Last 2 games, he only had 12 potential assists. His touches on the ball are way below his average the entire series. It's a lot of ball denial. So I'm confident with doing that. It's plus 100 at BetMGM and DraftKings. So that's my play, and it was a winner easily every game since that first one. I kind of mentioned it. I bet it on Twitter on the game 1, in the game 2, and it was winner also in the game 3. And the last game it wasn't a winner because he was short 2 points, but only had 4 assists. But he was short 2 points with foul trouble and poor shooting, which is not something you can expect from Jokic usually. He was 42% from the field, and I expect him to be way better, especially at home. So I kind of like it, and the price is great. Plus 100 is a great price. Also, we can do maybe, I don't know, like good thing to bet always in the series so far was Bam Adebayo alternative lines over and 3 plus combined with 3 plus assists. That can be good enough, and yeah, I'm not doing much in game 5 of the series of prop betting because lines get sharp. So yeah, that's maybe 2 lanes I could lean. Also, maybe even Jimmy Butler on some over on points. Yeah, it's 27.5, but now or never, and we can expect 46 minutes at least from Jimmy Butler
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah. I agree. So interesting betting insight, interesting things to think about ahead of this one, game 5. If there is a game 6, we'll have a preview ready for that. Of course, if there is not a game 6, well, there still will be plenty of great content here on the board channels as we go through the offseason. The NBA draft is on the horizon. I myself am very in tune with the NBA draft, and I'm very excited to produce some content in that space. So make sure you guys are subscribed or following whatever you're watching or listening on. You can subscribe on YouTube, follow on the podcast network. If you did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like and consider rating and reviewing 5 stars. I appreciate all the great support over the course of the season. We are thinking that this is the last preview. So thank you, everybody, for the great support over the season. If this is the last one, we appreciate everything you guys done. We appreciate Pips for taking so much time to be here on our network to help us out and help make the content so great over here. And we just appreciate that you guys have enjoyed that. So we'll see you very soon. Maybe it's ahead of game 6. Maybe it's ahead of the NBA draft. We don't know what it's going to be, but we'll see you again very soon for another video on the board channels.